Hi, I'm Mrs. Silverfox.
And I'm Mr. Silverfox. And you're listening to the Silverfox Swingset,
A podcast where we document our continued experiences and our own personal lifestyle journey. Welcome back, everybody, to Season 3, Episode 2 of the Silverfox Swingset. I'm Mrs. Silverfox.
And I'm Mr. Silverfox. Great to be back on the swing set.
Yeah, honestly, it's been too long. We keep saying we need to sit down and plug in the damn microphones. We just haven't done it. We skipped spring. It's okay. Well, we skipped in Ohio. We skipped still winter, not technically spring. So I think that's fine.
It's winter with like a day of mid-hot summer back to winter.
Right.
It's just Ohio.
I love it. I fucking love it.
Don't put your winter clothes away. Put shorts on tomorrow, though.
Yeah, there is no putting your winter shit away.
So what have we been up to?
I feel like we've done a lot of stuff, and a lot of stuff that we've never done before. I like that. I like the getting back out and doing a variety of things.
We did try a couple new events. Well, I'll say let's save it to when we get to them and talk about them.
Okay.
You know, because I had a lot of fun along the way, and I can't wait to share some of our adventures.
Yeah, I really did too. So I feel like the next thing we did after we left off last time was we did was it Champagne Mardi Gras?
Yes, we went to a Champagne hotel takeover.
Yes.
Where was that at?
Oh my gosh, somewhere in Michigan? What? No, Blue Ash.
Blue Ash, Ohio.
I had to remember where we GPS'd.
That was actually a very large hotel.
Yeah, that was huge.
I did enjoy the party overall. Mm-hmm. I thought the way the event unfolded through the night as the party moved up the floors.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool.
That was pretty awesome. I mean, the music did run pretty late. I don't know, 4 in the morning or something before it finally...
Oh, I don't know if it was... Oh, it might have been. You know what? We might have seen 4 a.m. I'm not really sure.
But there was 400 people at that takeover?
I don't even remember. It was huge.
I know there was at least 300 to 400 total. I mean, the hotel was monstrous, so it could totally support it. I never felt crowded in any way, but I felt there was a very large crowd for the setting we were in, and it was pretty good. The DJ was amazing.
Yeah, the DJ was awesome.
The dance floor was pretty well set up.
The playrooms weren't terrible. One thing about having like an open playroom in a hotel room, you're getting what's essentially their biggest suite. While there is like a couch in one area and a chair in another area, you know, a couple beds in another area, big bed, it's like you kind of have to weave your way through those things to really watch or be watched, and I think a lot gets lost in that. If you're somebody that likes an open playroom and exhibitionism and all that, like I prefer like a huge open viewing space, more like a Princeton setting than when we're at a hotel and they have an open, because I love to be watched, but I hate that people have to weave through like rooms to find, like if I want people to see me, I want them to see me right there. And I don't want to fuck in the hallway.
Well, and being on the 3rd floor or the 4th floor.
I think it was like the 5th.
It could be the 5th floor. It was
way up there.
I know it was on the top floor.
I mean, the rooms were wonderful, and I mean,
but the hallways were narrow.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, the congregation outside of, I think, the voyeurs, the participants, and just general curiosity was just getting very, very crowded. I mean, you were shoulder to shoulder, very face to face, and people that you wanted to talk to that were going in the opposite direction. It was hard to try to make a connection because they wanted to get out of the way of people. You didn't want to stop people from what they were doing. So that would be something I would want to maybe see on the 1st floor, where you had a lot more area of congregation outside, more than just a doorway to look through. Now, the doors were open, so you can go in, but when you go back to the bedrooms, it narrowed up. So if you wanted to watch what was going on in the back, maybe 5 or 6 people and a couple tall individuals that could see over the crowd, you know, not really complaining, just saying that could be a potential improvement. Yeah,
and really, I mean, and when you're at a hotel takeover, there are limited options for where that open space is going to be if they provide one. So, you know, I can't really run around complaining that, it wasn't open enough space, so not enough people saw me.
Something really amazing there, though, that we had not run into in an event And maybe amazing is over the top, but I thought the end result was amazing. Was the video stage that we were on?
Yes, the 360 degree. And I don't even know if that's the way to describe it, where like we stood on a platform and a camera went around the outside of us and took like a short little video, and it slowed down and that was so fucking cool.
Very, very
cool. I want to do that. I need that. You know, the investment's only like $6,000. I looked it up the very next day.
Well, I thought it turned out amazing.
Oh,
it was
I love
a great
that video of us.
Great memory with amazing friends that we have.
3 of my favorite people.
That was a great, great memory. I still watch that video at least once a week.
Me too.
What else did we do there?
They did the parade thing with the beads, and that we threw out a lot of beads.
We did chuck a fair amount of beads out of our balcony.
And I'll tell you, my very favorite part of the night was one of the people we were with, who we've talked about before. So he's the husband part of our first draft pick. Was trying to fucking complain to me about like one time in his however many years he's been swinging, that him and a lady miscommunicated and she tried to tickle his butthole and really wanted me to be fucking sad with him about it. And I'm looking at him like, you son of a bitch. Like, are you really... Like, this man himself has licked that thumb and tried to put it on my butthole before. And he's trying to tell me, oh, gosh, it was just so traumatizing. I just would never forget it. Shut up.
I had to move away. Like, I saw this ship sinking from the moment it started sailing. And I just started inching away like, you're in the room with the majority of women.
Yes.
I'm not really certain this is the smartest idea we've had today.
Mind you,
I wish to disassociate.
Yeah, I don't want to be, I would very much like to be excluded from this narrative. Like, also, this man has had sex with all of the women that are in the room. And, sir, if you have spit on your thumb and tried to love my butthole, I know damn well you have done the same to your wife and your girlfriend. I know you have. So how dare you complain to us of all the women? Go find someone else. Oh my God, I laughed so hard I thought I was going to die. I love them so much.
I just think my contribution of I'm not saying shit was probably the smartest I could contribute to that arena of ideas.
Yeah. Honestly, you did the right thing.
Amazing people.
I love them.
I do enjoy spending time with them and never really seem to have a bad time when they're included.
No.
Checked out that was my first Hotel Champagne takeover experience. I believe yours as well.
Yeah.
I would go back. I would go 100%. Back 100%.
Well, and I would like to go back to the champagne also.
Yes.
I mean, we have a membership now. We should just go.
Yeah, we got to make that happen.
I have a list of places, and the list is growing too. Like, now there's a couple campgrounds I want to hit up. There's a new club that I want to go to. I just feel like my list is growing. We got
campgrounds, huh?
Yeah.
We can definitely dive into that at some point.
There's like 3 of them I want to go to this summer.
Well, after Champagne, you attended an event. I actually stayed home that night.
Oh, yeah. So, me and Lily went to the Organ Grinders Ball.
And Lily would be my girlfriend. Mm-hmm. And you formed your own relationship. Had an opportunity to go experience something that you guys enjoy together, but I'm not necessarily on the same wavelength. I think I've said that enough.
So it was like a BDSM and fetish like fashion show, but also had like musical acts and choreographed skits and dancing. It was all kinds of stuff. It was awesome. But she is also she's a big titty goth girl. So when I heard about Organ Grinders Ball, she was the very first person that I thought of. I took my little kitchen table Polly on a date.
I would like to take a more interviewed approach about it because I have some interests.
Okay,
and I would like
to
ask
you
some questions. Are you
fucking Barbara Walters me?
Hopefully without the tears because they really don't affect me.
Listen, men have tried before to Barbara Walters me. And it did not end well for them.
How did you find the event? Let's start there. How did you find the Organ Grinders Ball?
Oh gosh, there's a couple groups I'm in on Facebook. I think the one that I saw that in was Ohio Alternative Lifestyles. There's a pretty big group of, I mean, it's a huge group of people, but they, you know, it's got a little of everything. It's got poly people, it's got swingers, it's got, you know, fetish folks and people from the BDSM community, plenty of LGBTQ plus community. So I believe I saw it in there. I did kind of bring it up here and you were supportive, but also kind of like, man, you know, yeah, if you want me to go to that, I'll go to that.
I think I'm just eternally supportive of
literally everything that I want to do.
The things you want to do. I mean, it's rare for me to say no. I will put myself in uncomfortable situations. I don't mind it, especially if I get to see some of the expressive nature that you bring that's positive.
Sure.
You know, I have experienced some of this with you, and seeing the expression of ecstasy or just complete enjoyment of the moment is something that I've been very attracted to. Still don't necessarily want to perform the act on you,
right?
But I do enjoy seeing you receiving it. When you went to this event, you and Lily, when you went in, did you guys have an initial game plan where you both stated, I want to go see and or experience this?
I think we both went, well, it wasn't just us either. I took so.
Well, I think this is a very important detail.
Yeah, this is an important detail. So I work a number of jobs. At one of my jobs, I work with a young man who has like thighs that measure at like 38 inches each, you guys. That, I mean, these, okay, so he played football. So the legs that he can bench press like 450 pounds with hip thrusts. He told me that one day. I almost died. Anyways, I invited this nice young man to come along as an accessory to my outfit.
An accessory to your outfit?
Yes.
That's an interesting way to state something. Can you describe this said accessory?
Yeah. So he's like a little over 6 feet tall and beefy as hell. And he didn't wear a shirt, and he wore a really nice collar and a leash.
Oh.
I let him hold his own leash.
For the entire night?
Yeah.
Oh.
It was crowded, too, and I wasn't going to try to lead him through crowds of people. And, like, also, he wasn't really there as my pet or my property. Like, he was literally an accessory to my outfit.
So when choosing this type of interactive nature with somebody, is this for a self-gratification, such as you feel like this bad bitch energy for choosing this said accessory?
I don't know about that. I think mostly when I picked this one, he's young and very sweet, so he wouldn't think in his own head, what's an organ grinder's ball? I should go to it. You know, that's not something I think that he would ever experience on his own. And I thought this could be a really fun thing, but also he's absolutely gorgeous and a fucking beefcake. He really added to my outfit. Like, just his presence next to me made my outfit look better.
Now, I imagine approaching this with somebody that's, one, vanilla, two, you have a co-worker relationship with, probably doesn't have any idea about this community or things that go on in it. It seems like he took a pretty big leap of faith to say yes to you.
Huge.
How did that conversation get approached?
He knows a little bit about my lifestyle. Like, he knows that you have a girlfriend. He knows that I have a girlfriend. So
wait a second. Did you just slide something in on us?
Well, we can talk about, we can come back. We can circle back on that bullshit.
On that one? Okay.
Yeah. So he knows a little bit, and, you know, he knows that Lily and I go and do things together. And when I told him that we were going to go to this thing, he was kind of like, oh, what's that? And it like, you know, sometimes you can just see in somebody's face. And, you know, you're not a girl, so I can't tell you. But for all the ladies out there, I can tell you, like, You know, when you're sitting next to one of your friends, you know, maybe you're a teenager, maybe you're adults, maybe whatever. And she looks at you and goes, "What's it like to kiss a girl?" And gets that look in her eyeball. And like, she's not asking you the question for you to tell her what it's like to kiss a girl. Like, she wants to be kissed. Like, he had that look in his face that he was like, "Oh, what's that?" And then I knew that you weren't going to come. And I know that you're not protective in a way, like not possessive protective, but I know that you feel more comfortable if you are with me or with Lily at a place that's new, where that kind of sexual energy is bouncing around a room, and especially a new event that none of us know what it is or what to expect. So
I agree with that statement.
So I kind of went after just the biggest beefcake I could find, where I could be like, "Babe, look at this. We'll be fine." Felt nice to have someone else go with us that other people looked at and kind of left us to our own devices. But also, we looked like, you know, hot dominatrix sluts. So people weren't really approaching us, but my accessory did get approached. And he did make a friend who then, of course, wanted to be my friend because, you know, she really, really liked it. It was very sweet. The whole thing was very sweet. The event itself was amazing. The only thing, you know, I talked to a friend of mine who has been to a lot of these, and he actually reached out to me to see, you know, we ran into each other there. He asked how my time was. And the only thing I really said was that because I didn't know what to expect, I guess to come back on the question you originally asked before I fucking derailed us, is that I guess going in, I kind of thought in my head that there would be just an abundant number of tops that were ready to beat my ass if that's what I wanted. And apparently, according to the friend I was talking to, what I'm actually looking for is something called a dungeon party. So if I want to go to a place where there's a bunch of people that want to flog other people or, you know, any of that, and that want to be the boss, I need to go to a dungeon party. But so that it doesn't take away from the event itself. Like the show we saw was absolutely amazing.
On the car ride there, did he have a lot of questions, or was it just basic
not
interactions?
at all. Like,
just was there nervous energy amongst everybody, or I imagine not so much you and Lily.
No, not at all. And
you're
honestly,
two bad bitches, so I get it.
Well, and he's so sweet, and he kind of has this sort of like young naivety that Lily is a fucking man-eater. So, like, he tried to say something about, you know, like a football injury, and, you know, he hurt his knee, and she looks right over at me, dead face while I'm driving, and is like, "Oh, so you can't be on your knees for very long?" And he was like, "No, I'm not saying that." And I turned and looked at her, and, like, I used her whole ass government name. Like, "Girl, what are you doing? Do not. Not this nice boy. Leave him alone." So, no, I mean, he's cool as shit. And I think he was just kind of following the divine feminine energy that her and I were kicking around in the front seat and, you know, swoofing back to him when he rolled the windows down. But yeah, it was a fun drive. And on the way home, he actually fell asleep.
Oh, got wore out.
Yeah,
a little overstimulated.
Sweet little guy. It was so cute. I didn't know there was going to be that many stairs at the House of Blues, and I wore my
inclines. You in those boots?
Yeah, I wore those latex boots with the stiletto heel. So,
oh god, will you wear those boots?
No, they're retired for the summer before people are like, "Oh my god, she only has one fucking pair of boots." Goddamn right, I feel good in those boots. Don't judge me, bitches.
I mean, there's nobody in our bedroom.
Oh, I'll wear them in there. I look great getting fucked in those boots. You know that.
Yes, you do.
For the love of Pete. Woo, Lord. So yeah, we just kind of the only thing I would change next year, probably when we go, is that I'll wear a shorter heel because she has nervous energy and just wants to move around all the time. So that meant up the stairs, down the stairs, up the stairs, down the stairs, which, you know, I'm walking around like, "Psh, this don't bother me." Well, let me tell you what, we got that damn parking lot and I had to take that boot off before we got in the car. The thing came off. I said, People were looking at me crazy.
Expended Lily's nervous energy a little bit.
Oh, no, not expended. It went on all night, and she still had plenty of energy when we got back here. She was still a yappy little bird before I sent her to bed.
So you went to the show, and then after the show, what took place, or did you guys head back?
No. I don't even think we stayed till the very end. I feel like there was an after party or something that was going on, but we had like a 2.5 hour drive. We still had to drop the little sleepy baby off at home. And, I wanted to get back here and set up the spare room so that she didn't have to drive all the way home.
We should consider if that individual would be interested in maybe having an interview with them about their very first experience and something like that. That could be very interesting. Your accessory.
You want to interview my accessory?
I think that could be something.
Listen,
I think that could be something cool.
I think there's a lot of unspoken sexual tension from the other side of that interview that I'm not totally prepared to face, but there's nothing like making a man squirm in his chair.
Maybe I want to experience that a little bit. And if Lily was game, maybe we can get the four of us together and hash this.
Oh my God, she would tear him up.
Hash this organ grinder ball apart.
I said that I would never bring them together again. I told him that afterwards, the next time I saw him at work, and he was like, "What? Why? I had a really good time." I'm like, man, I spent most of the night trying to protect you from getting eaten alive.
So after the organ grinders ball, we had a little bit of a break. We had a lot going on at home. Mm-hmm. Work was hectic. You kind of sprung this on me the week before, and it's a group that we've been involved with for a couple years now. Been always promising to make time to try to get to an event, and you actually came out to me while I think I was working on the playroom and said, "Hey, yeah, let's go to this event."
Well, someone else, there was like 2 or 3 people that had asked if we were going. I just kind of was like, no, I don't think so, or I don't know, I don't know what's going on. And after enough people asked me about it, I was like, all right, I need to see, like, the last person that asked me about it is a single male friend of ours. And I was like, send me the damn link, because I'm tired of people asking me about this thing. I need to figure out what it even is. So to look at the invitation, I actually had to join the Facebook group. And because he invited me, it skipped the entry questions that a lot of those groups have. Mm-hmm. So I got instantly denied. And so then I was mad for like an hour. And then I figured out what was going on, just that it didn't give me an opportunity to answer the questions. So I rejoined, and I feel like just in time, because there was only like 6 tickets left. And so I bought, I think I bought them and then told you about it, I feel like.
Yeah, that is actually accurate. You said we're going to
prom.
Prom.
We're going to prom with Ohio Swingers.
And I said, we are? When? And you said next weekend.
Yeah, I think actually at the point where I bought the tickets, I said like 4 days from now.
Yeah.
And I already have your outfit picked out. Yeah. So
yeah, you had me sold it. You already have my outfit picked out.
Yeah, your outfit's already picked out. It's hanging on a hanger in the closet. It's ready to go. No excuse.
We drove down. It was only about an hour and a half away from us. Mm-hmm. Maybe a little less, maybe a little more.
Beautiful venue. Exactly.
But we arrived. It was absolutely gorgeous. Was very happy to be at the venue.
Mm-hmm. It was beautiful.
We got in, we got parked, we got situated, and we walked up and immediately started seeing all kinds of people. Mm-hmm. Amazing people. Because of our involvement in the group, it's been a long time to meet some people that I've had some amazing conversations with.
Right. It was so nice to put faces to names, for sure.
It was. And we walked up. It was an inclined brick path, and of course we got the long-heeled stilettos on.
We got the fucking stilettos on.
Looking hot as
whatever.
fuck.
Those, you know what? I felt hot as fuck, but those boots lasted like 15 minutes, and I was like, you know what? Will you please go get my Chucks from the car? This is stupid.
It was still a pretty hot 15 minutes, though.
Honestly, I didn't feel any less hot walking around in my Chucks. I felt good that night. That was a good night.
The energy was real positive.
Oh, it's amazing. Then there was a huge crossover of people that we've met across several groups that all came together for this event. And what was it, like 200 people or something were there?
I think over 200 people. I don't know what the exact numbers, but
wild.
You know, we like big events. So,
yes.
You know, right
the
around that
merrier,
couple hundred,
sure.
200 to 900 at Princeton the one time. We really enjoy that environment. Yeah. So, seeing people, it was a lot of first time. Mm-hmm. A lot of people that we knew first time.
Yes.
Including us.
Right.
And so we got to say hi to a bunch of people that we knew. And then we really wanted to meet the owner of Ohio Swingers. And, well, both of them, the husband and wife team that run it. And we ran into the husband first. Mm-hmm. And so we got what we always enjoy. We love a tour.
I love a fucking tour.
So we got to see.
And honestly, they had that all set up really fucking nice. Like, that was a really smart setup.
It was spaced out well.
Yes.
There was a boathouse, a house, and a barn venue.
Yeah.
And the barn venue had the dance floor in it. It had an upstairs in it, which I don't want to talk about right now.
I do.
We will get to that. We'll get back to that. And
I'm already slippery just thinking about it.
And it also had a basement where there was a vendor down there set up. There was some floggers, some paddles and things that individual had made.
Yeah, those were nice.
There was different rooms there, Symbiont that was down in the basement, and we took pictures too with the owner because they had a photo, like a selfie photo booth.
Yeah, that thing was cool. Like one of the ones that you touch. It's all touchy and interactive and spits out your picture at the end.
I still haven't shared those pictures with him. I should probably do that.
You know what? Make him sweat a little.
Fair enough.
It's fine.
So we got our pictures taken, and then we finished up the tour, and then it was time to mingle, what we very much enjoy.
Well, and I feel like they had some of everything there.
Oh, they did. A little something of everything.
I mean, they did a comedy thing.
Oh yeah.
They did like a like a prom court and crowned people, and it was really, really lovely. The DJ, good DJ.
Good DJ. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The music was excellent. I do
and
appreciate that.
It wasn't like for a big space like that, especially in a barn like that. Sometimes the music gets so loud that you just can't talk to people. It never got like that for me.
No.
I felt like I didn't have to shout to talk to people.
There was a fair amount of beautiful women on the dance floor. I'm sure there was a dude out there. Guys, listen, I don't see you.
No. You don't. I don't either. I don't care if you are a good dancer. You don't exist if there's a beautiful woman standing next to you just getting it.
Oh, man.
Sorry.
That was wonderful watching everybody dance, and the energy was just so good.
I don't know why you're saying everybody. I know you're talking about that hot fucking blonde with the pineapple earrings.
With the silver dress.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Quit bullshitting. Just everybody. Fucking hoe.
So after being called out on my bullshit.
Yeah, good try, though. Love you.
I actually had my eye very much on a gorgeous blonde in a silver dress that was wonderful at what she was doing.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that party was awesome. Well, and super, super cool. They have what? I forget what he calls it. I know he said they used to call it the Wheel of Dares, but that people were too scared of it, so they called it something different. Ooh. But it's like if it's your first time, you spin the wheel, and there's things it lands on, like dares or whatever. And if you don't want to do it, you can just take a drink. So it's not the be all end all. So I spun it unenthusiastically because I was bratting a little bit for the person that was making me spin it. And it landed on St. Andrew's Cross. Like, I drank because I really like to drink. But 2, I was 1,000,000% on board for the St. Andrew's Cross experience because one of the people that was offering the St. Andrew's Cross experience was one of the hottest women I have ever met in my entire life. And, that woman brought me to Jesus.
To Jesus.
Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. Sun coming up over the horizon and angels singing down on my titties. Like, it was a whole religious awakening.
Before we get to that experience, I do want to kind of describe the environment in which we were both residing in there. You know, it was our first time there, but the comfort was my 20th experience. Mm-hmm. We were so comfortable. You were off mingling. I was off chatting, doing my thing, where typically at a first time event, we're clung to each other.
Yeah.
You know, until we figure out the lay of the land and the people. And
I felt very comfortable instantly.
Almost instantly.
Well, as soon as you got me my chucks, I did it.
And so by this point, you know, I'm talking to a group of people. You just come up to me. I'm going to spin the wheel. Okay. And then you disappeared, spin the wheel. The next thing I remember was you just yelling something at me and running by me.
So when it landed on that and I knew who the gal was who had all of the implements that I would enjoy, because earlier in the night...
Tools of the trade.
Yeah. Earlier in the night, she was walking around with a giant, like, purple wooden paddle, looking kind of threatening with it. And when she walked around with that thing, I just thought, oh my God, if you hit me with that, I am fucking yours. 100%. Like, froze in place. Like, oh my gosh, is she looking at me? Is she thinking about using that on me? So when I knew that she was the one that was doing that, I was...
Well, especially after the pin you up against the pillar dance experience that I got to witness. I thought that was hot.
Oh, she did do that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you had said some very kind words to that nice lady and me about nice things you wanted to do to that lady. And
10 out of 10 would eat that ass.
And then found out that she was going to be the one administering.
Mm-hmm. Well, and then when they found her and she had it, because, you know, she was staffed too, so she was busy. Mm-hmm. And I was already like following her around and completely obsessed with her. So the fact that I had an excuse to spend an amount of time with her was like, ooh, okay. Like, I was big time thirst trapping over this gal. She was fucking gorgeous. So when I spun the thing, it landed on that. I knew that, you know, that was going to be an opportunity for her and I to kind of go do this thing. I'm like running for the loft upstairs. And on the way there, I looked at her and I said, I hope I run into my husband so I can tell him where I'm going. But if I don't, oh well, okay, let's go. And thankfully, you were in the beeline in between where I was and where the stairs were to get upstairs. Because, yeah, I literally ran by and said, okay, you're going to go upstairs with this hot lady on the St. Andrew's Cross. Love you, bye.
And that's about how quick it went. Mm-hmm. I mean, I was chatting with a couple gals and just ran by and they're like, do you need to go? I'm like, no, I don't need to be there. But then I started to get curious though. I'm going to be completely honest with you, because I thought about the time where I got to watch you get flogged in the hotel room. Mm-hmm. I started to think about your face, and then I wanted to get up there, but unfortunately I didn't make it in time.
So she took out a whole bag of things and asked which thing I wanted, and I just asked her to go through the gamut. And she asked if I was sure, and I knew it was going to be good. Like, this is before you were on
the cross or after?
Yeah, before.
Okay.
And I was still dressed at this point. And then I asked her if she wanted me with my clothes on or clothes off. She said, you can take your dress off. You can take off whatever you want. She said, but I'm going to take my dress off too. Oh, my God.
Oh, that sexy dress.
It was so hot.
What a wonderful summer dress.
We both, you know, got out of our dresses, and she had all of her tools out. And I said, just run through them. And she said, are you sure? And, you know, I said, yes. The first few, she told me what I was going to be experiencing as she went through them. Like, she told me whether they were sting or thuddy, and, you know, how many times she was going to do the impact and that kind of thing. And she said, well, I asked if I needed a safe word, and she said, well, do you have one? And I said, no, you're the boss, applesauce. And she was like, okay, cool, the safe word's applesauce. Like, great. So, yeah, the first few, she kind of described what she was doing before she did it. As we went on, like, it got to the point where she wasn't saying a word. And she was like walking around the front of me and showing me the tool that she was going to use and like rubbing it around on her hand, looking at me with those eyeballs. Oh my God. And I would okay. So she ended, the last tool she used was a stainless steel paddle. And she like pulled it out and like showed it to me. And she was like, I want to use this. I don't get to use it very often. And I was like, yes. And so she did. And that, honestly, I think that was my favorite. Because she like, my skin was already hot. I was already bruising. You know, I didn't use a safe word, and she's really good at what she does. So like the underside of my cheeks were already very, very warm to the touch. And so she kind of laid that metal on those really hot spots and cooled them down. And then like tapped them just a little bit and then made impact with it. She also had long acrylic nails, and she was like tickling, and oh God, it was so good. I told her I loved her. I asked her to marry me a few times, and like right at the end, I think I offered to give her a baby.
Somehow just put a baby in her.
Yeah, she was very forgiving of the words that I was saying. I apologize profusely, but yeah, it was amazing. That whole night I had the best time. That was awesome.
It'd be wonderful if you guys could make some kind of other connection, maybe on that front. I don't know.
Oh my God, she could beat my ass 5 days a week, and I would just say thank you.
Well, the bruises showed up nicely.
Oh my gosh, those were so pretty. But yeah, 10 out of 10. Would hit up another OS event. That was super fun. I was super comfortable, and I met a ton of really cool people that I've never talked to before, and a bunch from, you know, that group and across other groups where I've seen things that they've said on Facebook, but, you know, we've never met in person. So that was really awesome.
Well, getting shout out for the beer belt by, you know, a listener out there as we were walking up to the house was absolutely wonderful. When I just hear somebody yell, "Oh my God, it's the beer belt." And I'm thinking, this is never going away.
No, she's my one true love. She comes everywhere with me. I saw a picture. I was sending someone a picture of my beer belt to describe it the other day. And the only one that I had stored in my phone was the one from like 2 4th of Julys or a 4th of July ago. And it had no pins, no flare, no patches, no nothing. And I was looking at it like, oh my God, look at my baby beer belt. Now she's all grown up.
You know, for the quantity of beer belts you sold that night, you should just really
make
one and
ambassador.
Put it on our website.
Yeah, honestly.
I mean, that should be a project moving forward, is a Mrs. Silver Fox beer belt.
Yeah, at prom, I must have sold like 4 or 5 beer belts to people. I watched them buy now from their Amazon when I sent them the link.
Could be a swinger staple across the world.
Yeah. Why am I not getting reimbursed for suggesting that to people? I swear. This is bullshit.
Speaking of, shout out to Switzerland. Thanks for listening, guys.
I don't know why, but...
Ireland, amazing. Thank you.
Listen. Some of these wild places that listen to us, I don't know what you guys are doing out there, but if you want to fly us out, like, we will absolutely stay for a weekend and shit can get crazy.
Well, I can see some, you know, sexy Irish babes rocking beer belts across the country.
You know I love a little Irish, a little redhead. Good Lord.
I don't mind approaching a woman for a conversation.
So yeah.
10 out of 10. I'd recommend. I had an amazing time.
Same.
Loved all the people that we got to meet. Loved all the people that we got to see again. And we will definitely attend another one.
Yeah,
for sure.
For sure.
And then after that, we headed to SD.
Oh my gosh, yes.
The following weekend.
So I feel like we've talked about this before, but I didn't know, like when we did the 80s weekend and I found out that you hated the 80s. Well, this one was the 70s. And when I was like, oh my God, it's the 70s. Again, you were like, ugh. I don't think the problem is that you don't like the 70s or the 80s or the 90s or Y2K or whatever. I think it's that you don't like being confined to I don't know, you're kind of an asshole about that.
An asshole?
Yeah, like
I'm not as open-minded as like, yeah, let's go pick out a costume. That's just
no. You were kind of a party pooper.
I'm not a party pooper. I'm fantastic at a party.
Yes, you really are. You are the fucking party. You bring the noise. But like when it's a generational themed party, I feel like you're just like, meh. I'll get the next one. I had bell bottoms. I was feeling so cute.
You were very cute. I don't know. You love themes. You knock themes out of the park.
I do love themes.
I don't know. Maybe it's something self-image wise that I should really just get out of the box and have fun with. I think that's the problem. I don't know how to have fun with it. I
gotcha.
And I know how to dress nice. I know how to.
Well, and there's more options for us too, women, I think, than men.
I think there could be potentially. I just haven't opened my mind towards the costume part of it.
Yeah.
I will go to a cosplay all day.
I know you will. But like you could really take a page from Mr. Desire's playbook. Like that motherfucker shows up and shows out for every theme.
Really. And I mean a couple of
He wore earrings, disco ball earrings.
I know. And we got a couple great friends that really turn it up every time too.
Yes.
And all through the night, both of them change.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them. I just wear the same damn thing until my clothes come off.
That sounds right.
Hey, at least I smell amazing.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it was so good getting back to SD. Well, and the fucked up thing that always...
Here we go.
Well, because I'm just so tired of going to events when I am on my freaking cycle. So we've missed like 3 or 4 SD events because it just happens that that's a weekend that doesn't work for my body. And this one was different and it was off by like 2 weeks to every other thing that they have planned. And I'll be damned if that morning of the fucking party...
It's like it just needs to hear SD.
It literally, we speak out loud, and my uterus is just like, "Oh, it's fuck this shit o'clock. Come on, let's cause a ruckus." It's like, damn, come on. But honestly, like, I love the people there. I had such a good time.
I did too. Miss them very much. So getting to see Mr. and Mrs. Desires and our other friends there, always fantastic. Mm-hmm. Nice to be back.
The outfits. The outfits were so good.
Yeah, there was a lot of beautiful women, I'd say.
You would say that.
I certainly would.
You slut.
I had a great time that night. I got to make a connection that I was looking forward to that evening. So I was very happy about that. I always know you're in good hands there. And love the crowd. What did you do?
At the party?
Yeah, what'd you do?
I was everywhere and nowhere. I was a social butterfly. I did a little of everything.
We did not see a lot of each other that night.
I did not. The only part of the night where I feel like we came together and were in the same space was when whatever the weird like TikTok trend thing was happening, where the guy who gets us to crawl through
James
windows
Brown.
and sing to people is the same guy that will get us to break into someone's room and shout at them while they're in bed. Like that was the part of the night where you and I were together in the same hallway, and it was very it felt like a fucking Scooby-Doo mystery because like I was drinking. Okay, it was an event, so of course I was drinking. The beer belt was there, but like this is like towards the end of the night. I got a little bit of a buzz on, and I'm being pulled into a fucking hallway where some shit is going on, and people are talking about TikToks. I have no clue. I'm just being drug along in like a little crowd of people that were moving in this direction, and everyone's like whispering scandalously, so it really felt like a little secret mission. And then all of a sudden you were there.
Well,
and it was like,
wait a second, what do you mean all of a sudden I was there?
Like
I was there when the plan started again.
Okay, well listen, I got pulled into it, so I'm listening to people talk, and then I look over and you're right there, and I was like, oh my god, what's going on? But also you were kind of like, it's not really clear. It was kind of clear.
I was walking down the hallway, heading towards probably the smoke tent or the bar. I don't know. And Mr. Desires was there. And
every fucking story that's messy begins with Mr. Desires.
And there was
He's
another
a
gentleman,
troublemaker.
and they were having a conversation. I was minding my own business, making a left, and Mr. Desires says, "Hey, we're going to do this thing, and we need somebody to record it." And then I just looked at him and said, "Sure." And then the other guy says, "Wait a minute, you're not even going to question what you're going to get into?"
Oh,
and
you
I'm
were
like,
the fucking recorder?
I'm like, "No, I'm not going to." I mean, it sounds like a great idea. Whatever he's got going on, he needs me to record it. Sounds
I fucking
amazing.
trust this guy with my wife.
Now,
I trust this guy with my fucking...
Now, mind you,
With
when
this
I'm at a
plan.
party of this nature and somebody asked me to record something, I was kind of hoping it would involve a lot more naked women in my mind.
Yeah.
I guess that's immediately where I went to, like, okay, sweet, I'm a director now. I get it. I
Typical
understand this
man.
mission.
Monkey brain.
And this is the one where everyone wants the cameraman.
No,
Got
it's
it.
not.
Got it.
I don't know what the
wasn't
fuck
that.
it was.
It wasn't that, just to be clear.
Well, when it got to the point where we're like rushing down the hall, everyone's whispering scandalously, and I'm asking you what's going on, and you don't know, but you have like two thumbs on your phone pointed out in front of you, like ready to fucking go.
I understood the mission.
Right. So then they try to start the music. It's supposed to be that, wow, I feel good. But it was supposed to be on a big speaker, and something went awry that the speaker and the phone didn't connect, so it was only on the phone while Mr. Desires is charging into someone's bedroom, screaming James Brown, even though he's the only one. It was so stupid. So then when he's like yelling back out into the hall, what the fuck? I just walked away. And I feel like even you were like, hey, where are you going? And I was like, man, this shit's all fucked up. I'm not doing this.
But the music kicked in and it wound up being great.
I did see the videos that got posted in that little roundabout group chat. And that his response was, oh, geez, you can't take me anywhere. It's so true. He's always trying to cause some kind of ruckus. I fucking love him.
I just think next time when somebody asks me to record something, I'm going to have some more specific questions.
Yeah, don't be so ride or die. Ask a couple questions.
I don't know. It seems more fun. I mean, he hasn't let me down yet.
I mean, yeah, that's fucking true.
So I'm going to keep going.
Oh, shit. I love them.
Don't bet against the streak.
Right. Yeah, I believe they're doing their poker run in June, and I would for sure like to go back for that.
Okay, excellent.
I love that poker run, and it's for I love that cause.
And I
love
think
that
that'll
guy.
be the last event of the season. We'll have the link to local events on our website at silverfoxswingset.com if people want to check that out. So you can run over there. We keep that up to snuff. Get you the links to where you need to go. But you said something a little while back that I want to circle back on. Did something about a girlfriend.
Yeah.
I'm not sure everybody's aware that is taking place between...
It's, you know what? We literally just started saying
Sure.
girlfriend. Like,
but it's not like it just
2
happened
days
last
ago.
week.
No. I've been talking. I feel like I've been talking to her for a hot little minute.
Yeah, I feel the same.
We just haven't. I went from being very geared up about finding a relationship with a woman where I could be vulnerable to exchanging more than just sexual energy. I wasn't in the right headspace for it when her and I started talking, so I was kind of guarded in maybe what I was looking for. I kind of feel like I'm getting to a point with her where we've spent enough time together and I trust her and I feel very comfortable with her that I'm not, like, even though my headspace isn't where ideally I would like it to be, I trust her enough to, to open myself up when I'm around her, if that makes sense.
It does make sense.
She's not what I thought I was looking for, I'll tell you. But she's full of
gorgeous.
surprises. And she is a babe. She's a little bit of a princess, though. She's a little brat. She real cute, though. But yeah, it's new, and she makes me go eat at fancy places and makes me walk around with her in fucking Sephora.
From my point of view, it seems like when you get done talking with her or the Snapchats or you've been around her, I can see that it's been a very positive experience for you. And I really enjoy you sharing your happiness with me. But
yeah, it's a fun little ride.
And it's interesting, just from my point of view, because now I see some of your perspective towards my relationship with Lily. We respect the boundaries that this isn't a swinger thing.
Right.
Right.
I don't feel bad about gatekeeping that ass.
She's a fine lady.
I'm excited to see where that goes.
So you touched on some things, and that's going to lead us directly into the topic which we wanted to discuss, which was Headspace. You talked about your Headspace maybe not being exactly where you thought it should be. What was the defining factor that made you and I want to talk about it?
I mean, I feel like I say the word so often, and especially lately. I just, I feel like you do a really good job of kind of checking in with me. But one of the statements that I have kind of been saying, I guess a few months now, is that I'm struggling to find my sweet spot in the community. I'm not sure if I'm more poly, if I'm, lean more towards swinging. It all ties back to the social part about it. But I don't know where my sweet spot is. I don't know. I haven't built a tribe as big as I wanted. Yes, we have a tribe, but I still want more tribe. And I'm not sure from which community I want that.
I agree that the tribe has room for expansion. Mm-hmm. I look at it from a lens of we've done so much up to this point now, as far as hotel takeovers, bars, etc. We're really starting to look to pinpoint what those things are we want to gravitate towards. Whether, we've had this experience, we love this experience, we want to come back to this experience, but we're seeking something a little different, something just completely 180 from the experiences that we've had. And it's starting to slow down a little bit for us as we try to define that. It's not that I don't think we want to attend a lot of things. Of course, we always do. We're those kind of people. But at the same time, trying to figure out, okay, you're experiencing this community, maybe that has a little more of your attention. I'm experiencing something a little different. Maybe it has my attention, and that kind of creates its own headspace for us while you and I are both existing in our own headspaces. And then we have to be concerned, we have to concern ourselves with each other's. Mm-hmm. And we've experienced that, I would say, more recently than ever so in the past. I would say we were far more defined in our experiences taking place together, where now we are far more comfortable in just telling the other the experience we wish, and the other person saying, yeah, I'm fully on board, or, hey, you should ask your friend to go with you. That opens up a whole new world of experiences for us, because now we can incorporate people absolutely 100% on board with what we want to do.
I always feel like I'm kind of drifting in and out of whether we are approaching an event together with the intent to play together with others or just play together. I feel like I gravitate further away from that and am moving into more of a space of what are you going to do? What am I going to do? How do we communicate that to each other in the moment?
Right.
And I don't know if that poly exploration kind of, and the openness to be selfish about things.
Sure.
Or what that is. I'm not sure what that is. But I've never really, even in, where we have this elusive four-way connection and play happens between all four of us, I really don't gain anything by watching you and vice versa. We've said that before. So am I surprised that that's kind of the direction I feel like we're heading? No, not really. But I feel
No.
like I'm in and out of that.
I am too, because I do think back, and when we talk about it, to previous experiences that we've had with couples and individuals together, and say, I would love to have that again. I would love to have that experience with individuals that we had like that on a regular basis, and that was all done together. And so
that's different.
It's because we're, the more open that you get, it has a tendency to find confusion in it, because there's so many variables that sometimes we're not doing the same math problem. And, you know, that's led us to talk about a lot of different things, because it's caused instances for you to be in a headspace because of something I'm projecting. It could be something that getting to be the end of the night, the sexual energy's hyped up. We want to play. We're not on the same page with who we may want to talk to. We're not the kind of people that want to rush into a play situation.
Well, and I think like you're being very PC about a situation that I'm not afraid to talk about in this. Like, I'm not afraid to point it out. So what happens at events is like, we can be very social all night, and I feel like you do stay very even keel all night, and you're very go with the flow, and so am I. But for some reason at events, like the witching hour happens, and suddenly I get to a place where I feel like we have to do something.
Right.
And I'm not sure where that comes from, but it, like, after you brought that up to me, I recognized how frequently I do it and how quickly it changes the mood of us. Because now it's like waking up late for class when you're in college, or waking up late for work, or waking up late for whatever, where you are suddenly in this panic. And even if you're talking yourself down from that panic, your body physically is feeling that panic. Like, I feel compelled for something to happen at the end of the night. I don't know why. But when you brought that to my attention, and I recognize that I do that, and that it does change the entire atmosphere of whatever mood we have set the whole night, I don't know why I feel like we should be obligated to play either together or with someone. I don't know why that happens to me. But that's something that, like, now that I know it exists and I can recognize it, I absolutely want to work on that. I'm not sure why that happens to me.
I've never felt, per se, the pressure of having to have something happen. I'm very much okay if everything happens. I'm very much okay if nothing happens. Sometimes I'm guilty of wanting things to happen, of course, and they don't. I'm a human being, just like anybody else. I imagine everybody's had that disappointment of maybe not tonight, but the enjoyment, hopefully, of maybe next time.
Yeah.
And it does kind of put us both in a different headspace.
I really do need to work on, and that's, it took you a long time to say something to me about that.
It's out of respect for each other that we find avoidance in difficult discussions. Even though that in our last podcast
we talk about having
difficult discussions, we still
we
struggle
do, though. We
with
do
them at
have
times.
them, but sometimes it takes a little longer.
Right.
For us to have the hardest ones, because I think we're both very careful of each other's feelings. A lot of times when you and I have big conversations, one thing I appreciate about you is that you will preface like big feelings as, listen, I'm just now receiving this information. I'm processing it. So what you're hearing from me is me just spitting out my knee-jerk reaction emotion to you. It's not how I ultimately feel, but it's what is coming out of me and what I'm projecting right now.
And I think that you say that back to me now, and I think that's a wonderful way to say something preceding something emotionally that's about to be delivered.
Yes.
And I found that was a better way to communicate with you. And when you say it to me, no matter what you're about to say, it's 10 times less hurtful than if that statement didn't precede it. I don't know why. Just hearing somebody say, I'm about to say something, I'm purely emotional, my thoughts are going to change in 10 minutes when my brain kicks in, but this is from my heart. Go fuck yourself.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's that.
Well, and I think it's important to recognize that, I tell people all the time that one of my love languages, DBT. Yeah, one of the big things that DBT talks about is being able to recognize when you're in emotion mind and when you're in wise mind. Being able to put words to that in a actual situation, you giving that voice and saying, I don't want you to think that I feel this way about you,
right? But
here's how I feel.
Yeah, like, this is just raw.
Yeah, just you giving voice to that feeling that doesn't make any sense, where you're like, I don't want to open my mouth because I'm going to say something, but also here's how I feel. I need to say it. Like, that was huge.
Right. And I agree, when you reciprocate, that's a wonderful way for us to communicate.
Yeah.
But with that conversation, it's hard. It made it difficult because there's a line of respect for not wanting to impede on somebody's experience. There's also me and my feelings. Mm-hmm. And I think your feelings are valid. You validate mine. Sharing on how that affected me at the end of the night, where it's like, I don't need the pressure. I don't want to perhaps come off a certain way to a couple that I wouldn't be, 4 hours earlier.
No. And I needed to hear you say that.
And that was it was difficult for me to approach, but I'm glad we had it. And that also opened the gate to something that, I had been harboring since it happened, which was something that took place at Champagne, which was the hotel takeover that we went to. Mm-hmm. I got into some subject matter that has negatively affected two experiences that we've had, one at Eros and one at Champagne. Mm-hmm. It's a subject, for some reason, talking about my dad, that had passed over a decade ago, is still something I struggle with at times.
Yeah.
And one event was on the anniversary of his passing, and somebody was just kindly interjecting about a tattoo that I have on myself that they related to it. And it wound up putting me in a headspace where I was thinking about things not necessarily of why I was there for. Mm-hmm. And, I was with two women that, I find just utterly amazing and beautiful. Got to share my stories with them as they were sharing with me, but it put me in a different place, headspace wise. And I projected that onto you for the rest of the event preceding that, not in a verbally abusive way. It was just in I wasn't myself way.
Yeah.
And that went on through the evening, and a couple days later, I had asked the question of, hey, I thought we had talked about the evening was going this way, and I was still harboring some of the guilt, but rather than just tell you, if I just couldn't project what I really wanted to get off my chest in a healthy format. It gave me the opportunity down the road, though, to say, hey, listen, that night was on me. I own that night. Everything that happened was talked about was going to happen beforehand, and everything was okay. There's no planned order to anything. Just because I was a certain way doesn't give me a right to say everybody has to join me.
Yeah.
And I didn't convey that well, and I need to work on that, because that wasn't my first time.
Well, and I will tell you that you having that conversation with me was groundbreaking. And I know that sounds absolutely crazy, but I mean, I cried in that conversation.
Yes, you did. I don't know why, but you did.
Well,
I know you said you needed it, but I don't know.
Yeah, no, I
didn't understand the emotional response.
So I guess to put some context to, all of this headspace thing, and, kind of where I'm at and what what kind of led to that. And I promise it'll all have a point in a summary. And I'll start with something that a really close friend of ours said one time when we were brand new and we talked about, all these rules we had, and that we, here's how we're going to keep each other safe, and here's how we're going to swing. Here's what we're going to do, and here's all of our hard lines in the sand. And he said to us, it's not a matter of if a rule gets broken. It's a matter of when a rule gets broken. He said, because it will happen. It'll happen to you. It's happened to me. It's happened to every other person that's ever done this. It's just going to happen. Your marriage and your plan for what to do when it does happen has to be stronger than the thing that happened. And when he said it, I thought, well, what do you fucking know? You don't know my marriage. You only know your marriage, and you only know your swinging. But it turns out he was absolutely right, because there came a point where I fucked up. And the headspace that I assigned to myself in that moment, for me, was stronger than it was so much louder than the voice where you said to me, like, yeah, you fucked up, but I love you. This is not going to bring the world crashing down around us. And like, we just have to find a way to work through this. The end. Like, for you, that was the end. For you, that was it. For me, in my head, I hated myself for that.
You punished yourself far worse.
I'm still punishing myself for that. That's what brought me to the headspace where I felt like I don't trust anybody. I don't trust my own voice. I don't trust myself, because the one thing that I was so adamant about, it turns out I fuck up too. So,
well, and I think because of that situations that preceded that may have been minor to us, that we would just discuss, the next day, as far as what happened the previous evening, as probably most everyone does. Little minor things like what happened here when this happened, that was just something like, hey, let's get some clarity on it, became an issue far larger than I thought it should be.
For myself, was like, how could you? Like, you have no control. All these things that are spinning in my head that I'm telling myself about, what a bad swinger I am, and what a bad partner I am, and what a bad wife I am. And maybe if I'm failing you there, I'm failing you in all these other ways that you just haven't mentioned, because,
sure,
because God forbid I just fall apart. And it, like, all of this, I projected that, I think, on you in a lot of ways too.
Well, it's really easy to do to each other. Mm-hmm. It's harder to acknowledge it.
Yes.
Throughout our marriage, I really haven't had a difficult time saying I'm wrong.
Oh my gosh, no. And I wish you just wouldn't have said that to a community of people that know that you will fuck other women. There it is. All right, ladies. Okay, so not only did I marry the man who is thoughtful and generous, and any of you that know him is a fucking legend in the sack, but also he does his own dishes, laundry, and admits when he's wrong. So... well, suck it. I won the husband fucking lottery. No, you've never, ever...
It's maybe taken me a little longer on some subjects that it should have, and not maybe, it has, but I definitely try to make the best effort to replay what I've said to you, especially if it's something extremely important as recapping. Talking about the things that we did, the things that we want to do is something that's very, very important to our relationship and always has been. That translated right to the lifestyle. Being able to say that I'm wrong, not know necessarily the gravity of what I said that's placed on you, hearing the backside of it of, hey, that night I have to let you know I was wrong. I was wrong the whole night. I know a lot of people aren't going to understand what I'm saying, and I'm not going to get down to the specifics of what exactly took place, but The important thing was the ability to recognize that and say that and convey that message to you, because after OS, which I would describe as a near flawless event for us from start to finish, kind of felt like it always should have post that situation. And then, it allowed me to, hey, take a step back. She's still carrying a lot, that we see in conversation and passing. And it's time to say, hey, listen, I'm not fucking perfect over here either.
Yeah. Well, and even now, like in my, my fortune cookie non-Hallmark, like I'm still being a little bitch hearing you say it, because I'll tell you, combined with the headspace that I was already in when the question came up about what happened that night, I was so confused in that conversation and thought, I don't understand what I've done wrong. I haven't done anything wrong, and kind of put myself in a headspace where I was like, okay, well, he's reacting to something. I'm not sure what it is. Maybe we'll come back on it. And typically you're quick to come back on stuff where you feel like you were wrong, or that you need to make an apology, or that we just need further conversation. But I'll tell you, enough time passed between that event and when we had the conversation that I hated myself after that event. I really felt like I had done the same thing, that I fucked up, that I broke a rule, that I did something. And no matter how many times the other side of my brain was like, no, you had this conversation, you did nothing out of the ordinary, nothing you did was out of line, nothing you did was wrong.
No, but
combined with my headspace, though, where I can project things on you, I can project things. So it's like, I carried that. And when you said that, I cried so fucking hard that day, because I needed to hear that. Yeah, I really did. And I think that was a good step in me moving past, like, the part of me that can't forgive myself for fucking up. Even though I feel like you are way past that, like you're already into a point of like healing and advocacy, where I'm just like, I'm back here still trying to be forgiven by you, where you've already had the conversation, you have already forgiven me for it's like,
I said it, that we had to have the discussion of what happened, and my exact words at the end of it were, we talked about this. Mr. Desires and Mrs. Desires talked to us about this on our podcast. Mm-hmm. We agreed that we could withstand a blow such as this exact situation. We agreed. I don't want to really dive into it much at the moment. I just need to, consider what had taken place. We're fine. You're going to sleep next to me tonight no matter what. Right. And, we're strong enough that said, if this exact scenario happened, we could make it. And we lived, and I wanted to live by that. Yeah. I wanted to live by that because, tit for tat has never been a part of our relationship. No. It's not something we enjoy. No. It's not something we want to inflict upon others.
No, I'm not even sure I could even put myself into that headspace. Talking about headspaces, I don't think I can get there.
Right. And, we even rescinded at one point, what you do to my husband, I do for yours. So the whole tit for tat has been removed from us for a while.
For sure.
And, I found myself in a different headspace than you were occupying, in a different direction.
And I, as many different ways as you asked me if I was okay, or like, what I was thinking or what I was going through, I don't think I was ready to assign words to it, because I was still kind of trying to come to terms with, I guess, with the situation with myself in my own head first, when what I should have done was talk through some of those feelings, even if they didn't make sense. Right. Because, when all of that kind of came to a head and you were like, I'm I don't know why I acted that way. And that night had nothing to do with you. I felt like that it was uncomfortable and like messy and awkward for you to say it, but just saying it opened up an entirely different new kind of communication in that moment for us, I think, where we could just be very real with each other.
Sure. It kind of defines some of the amazing, amazing people that we've met along the way that have helped us.
Right.
Well, yeah, either improve our headspace or help carry us through a time where you're navigating.
Because
and,
not only
we've been there.
Not only did he check in to see if everything was okay,
right?
But when I kind of gave a very brief rundown, the very first thing he said was, if either of you need anybody to talk to, man, you guys are so fucking... I love this community.
I like his wife.
Amen.
But that's been a different headspace for us, and been difficult to try to, how do you come together, put that onto a show, and want to project your dirty laundry in a way, but it's something we all suffer from as people, and I imagine as couples is you exist in two different planes in processes of thought where one is maybe struggling with the lifestyle and the other one is, I love the lifestyles, it's rainbows and unicorns,
right
and we've been there at different times where I've said, I really need to take a step back, and you're like, wait a minute, I'm in a dead sprint forward.
Right.
That's where we were a week ago. What happened?
Yeah, what happened?
And then, a positive experience happens, and then you're right back into it. Or, the other person doesn't want to do something, and you got to be okay with that.
Yeah.
No matter how bad you want to do that, that you're my wife, I'm willing to take a step back as you are. Like, hey, if you need that time, you need that space. Where I'm currently at, this is my current self. I don't want to leave this world. Respect it if you do. You take the time you need before we can discuss how this exists in some realm.
Right.
And we both give each other that respect, and I think that's pretty awesome. But I do have to acknowledge that it's sometimes difficult and a struggle to exist in two different planes. But we always seem to find something that pulls that back, and it seems to be a brush of honesty between each other. Always gets us there. Like, hey, this is what I'm truly feeling and thinking.
Right. And, some of those conversations, like the most uncomfortable ones are the ones that feel the most awkward when you're having them, like have the best outcomes. Like I can't tell you what that conversation did for me wanting to get out and do more things and, find where my spot is.
Right.
And find more people to add to the tribe and, find more events. And so I think that conversation was really important. I think we both really said things we needed to say and heard things we needed to hear.
Correct.
Honestly, that was the most raw dog fucking conversation we've ever had. Well, that we've had in a really long time. And I think, that was huge.
When you're both in a positive headspace, the world is ours.
Oh my God, yeah.
But
if even one of us,
I do enjoy that when we're clicking.
Yeah.
Real hardcore.
But it's hard. It's hard to be there at the same place at the same time because, it's, occupational wellness and social wellness and, there's a million different layers of wellness that adds to, your overall best self. And we can never be meeting all of those levels of wellness at the same time. And especially in our own selves, we can't meet those levels.
Right.
But when we're talking about trying to get two people to meet all the levels of wellness that they can possibly meet and then come together and be well, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
And one negative experience could define somebody's entirety. within the lifestyle.
Yeah.
Whether they are fully in it or fully out of it. And those test us at times too. We are not immune by any stretch of the imagination.
No. We do not have a magic marriage that is immune to the
adversities
fuck-ups
of life,
of the sins of the flesh. Like we fuck up too.
Always gaining a new understanding of you.
Same.
And I appreciate everything that we do find. And discussing our current state of mind was a little more revolutionary than conversations that we've had in the past for some reason.
Yeah, I think sometimes waiting and trying to censor the most uncomfortable parts or like fluff them so they're not so sharp, I think maybe robs us of being able to really express how something is making us feel at the fucking root of it all. So I would agree that I think those really raw conversations, with the preface of, hey, I have taken zero time to process and filter this. Here's what I'm feeling in this moment. You're being a fucking dick.
Right.
Like, sometimes you just got to hear that.
One thing that I repeat, but it's something we practiced before I knew it, was just because I know the way you may answer it doesn't remove the right for me having to ask.
Right.
That's a very important lesson.
Yeah. What's our point? The same point we're always having. Communicate, have the uncomfortable conversations.
It's not so much that necessarily I'm trying to make a point or project some kind of approach that anyone should take. This is my experience. I'm sharing it with you.
That's fair.
We project positivity. We want to constantly show the wonderful nature of everything that happens. But in the case of mindfulness, we have to acknowledge that we are impervious to adversity between each other. And it's how we handle ourselves and being in the mind space and incorporating the way we are within the lifestyle would probably be the experience in which I think is important for us to share with others.
Sure.
Now we're back at being excited, like, hey, what do you want to do? Where do you want to go?
How many places can we be at Memorial Day weekend?
Yeah. Wonderful thing about the lifestyle that's probably taught us more than anything is how to be there for each other and be mindful and get into those when you get into those headspaces, be there for each other and just be understanding of what you're receiving and the timing in which you're receiving it.
Right.
That would be something I would say my experience has taught me the most is, am I delivering the message that I've been sitting on the information and digesting for longer than the other person? Or am I the receiving end of it? Based on which point of view I'm coming at this from is to acknowledge what's about to come out of my mouth next.
Right.
Because the last thing I want to do is really hurt you if something makes me feel that way in the moment. And I know that's the same towards you is, hurt is not the intent.
Right.
And I've acknowledged that since the beginning. You're not a malicious human being. You're an amazing human being. I love you.
I love you a ton.
And you're very thoughtful and wonderful. It's a pleasure to be in your headspace.
Oh.
After all that gross Hallmark shit, as she would say, swinging forward. I've been trying to figure out what the home run swinging forward is going to be on this episode. I'm going to give you an opportunity and see if I can be less lame.
All right, well...
I'm not saying you're lame. I just want to be less lame than your answer.
Oof, well... Okay. Well, then I hate to say this to you, but, so swinging forward, there is that whole list of, places I want to go. I want to see new clubs, this kind of thing, and campgrounds and stuff. Oh, God, this really sucks for you. You're going to feel really stupid for what you said before, but my girlfriend and I are currently searching for strap-ons. that we can take turns with. Because I really just want to fucking bend her over a desk and just rail the shit out of her. So, swinging forward, I would like both of us to have strap-ons that hurt a little bit when we use them. So, go ahead. Try to be less lame.
Well, that's a swing and a miss. So...
Bet you feel real stupid now, don't you?
I'm not topping that, ladies and gentlemen. That's for sure.
Boy,
Jesus
I sure hope you can be less lame, too.
Thank God I fucking edited this, and it's going to sound like I went first.
You son of a bitch. You fucking would. You fucked around and found out today.
God damn. I really don't have a whole lot for swinging forward. I really want to see what is out there as far as different types of swinging events, and maybe see if there's a genre per se, like, you know, you attract to the BDSM community. If there's maybe something that is a hidden interest that I haven't discovered yet, because you seem to do a lot more of the research as far as events, and I don't get terribly involved in the search.
Yeah.
And I think that allows you a little more flexibility for expansion into your lifestyle experience.
Yeah.
And I think I want to spend a little more time looking into different things to see if areas of interest lie within me, because I like to please. You know, I'm very much a pleaser.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say, hey, I really want to go do this experience. I really want to have this experience. Hell, it was even hard for me to admit I got a breeding kink.
Yeah, that was a weird conversation for you.
Yeah, the realization of actually
Of
having
me
to
literally
acknowledge
saying,
it.
bro, that's a fucking breeding kink that you're describing. And you're like, no, it's not. That's your
literally,
shit. That's
literally
weird.
the definition.
Yeah, literally, you just fucking described a breeding kink to me.
Yeah, and I, like, oh
It's
my
fine.
God.
No big deal. Like,
I can't have a kink. I'm a gentleman.
let's just call it what it is.
But yeah, I pretty much fit the definition to it.
That
but
was so sweet, too, the way that you said it. Sometimes I pretend I'm going to come in my girlfriend.
well,
What?
it's the
Yeah, that's cool, babe.
It's the same with you and anal. It's not necessarily that the act itself has to take place.
Right.
But I want you to tell me you want it.
Yeah, just the fact that I'm asking you to
Right.
shove it in my ass.
You know, when Lily was asked kindly by me to tell me, take the condom off and, you know, cream pie, I just want to hear it. It's
right.
You know, it's
right.
not. It's. I mean, would I love to have it happen? I mean, God, who wouldn't? You know,
Sure.
But at the same time, I don't need the experience. I want the audible version of it.
That I feel like you were waiting for my face to be so shocked when you were telling me that, because I feel like before you told me, you were like, "Can I tell you a dirty little secret that I did?" Like, yeah, sure. Well. Like, waiting on this reaction, like, oh, cool, you have a breeding kink? I didn't know that. What? No, it's not that.
No, it's not a breeding kink. It just sounds amazing.
Right. No, I think if you look it up, what you just described, that was a cute day.
I think I even tried to blame it on my hearing impaired nature.
Yeah, you did try to pull some
I don't
bullshit.
have long with this, hearing thing that everybody suffers from.
Yeah.
So when that goes away, I won't hear that anymore. So it's super special. I hear it now.
Right.
It's not a kink.
It's a medical necessity for my recovery. Shut the fuck up.
It's going to help me ease me into the world of sign language telling you about it.
Oh, I cannot with you. I'm fucking done with you for the night. I love you. You're an idiot.
Swinging forward, I do believe there's things out there that I really want to experience, or individuals that I want to have further experiences with, and nothing really major from I continue
You
to
don't
see.
want to go strap-on shopping with Lily?
For who?
Your face. I wish everybody could see your face.
Please describe me the nature
Never mind,
and
I guess.
context of that, please.
I guess that's a no.
Who the fuck is she getting a strap on for? Me?
That's a bitch. My God, man, you turn your back for 1 second, she'd probably sneaky peg you. She's a fast little bird. She'll get you.
I'll go strap on shopping with anybody. Fuck it. It's a sex store. Why wouldn't I want to go?
I mean, that's true.
I'm probably full on board. Hey, you got a rewards program here?
I love a rewards program at an adult bookstore. God bless America. What a time to be alive.
That sounds absolutely amazing. You're swinging forward.
Thank you.
I wish I was a lot of places, but yeah, amazing. You guys are phenomenally hot. Your pictures together. You're drop dead gorgeous. She's drop dead gorgeous. So, you guys make a cute looking couple from my point of view, and she's a wonderful person. So, hopefully that continues.
Yeah, she's a fucking brat. She cute though. She real cute though.
You're a fucking brat.
Works fine. Everything's fine.
I continue to have my relationship with Lily that's ongoing. That's been a very positive point of my life.
She's fun. And she gets you out of the house on weekends.
Yeah.
Thank God, because, sometimes you just get tired of taking your husband for walks. Here's the secret. Get him a girlfriend. She'll take him on walks.
Well, and it's kind of nice for our families to get together and go do stuff. Mm-hmm. So I continue to enjoy that. Would love to give an update on the playroom on the next episode. Maybe incorporate, wish you the best on having your own stories by yourself and with me. And as I always say, if anything, we'll have a good time. If everything, we'll have an amazing one. Like you and her do things beyond things that you and I would do. Like you go shopping at places that I probably wouldn't, or...
Well, honestly, it's for her.
Fair. We'll cut this.
I just follow that ass through the mall. Give me your number, and I'll call.